celestial motion in the silence of the dark, where constellations bloom. We traced our fragile pulses in the hush of midnight's room. Never brass the comet tail, every thought a spark, drifting through the endless blue that wrapped around the dark. Gravity was gentle when your fingers found my skin. White planets pulled by forces neither one could name within. We were bodies set in orbit, perfectly aligned to quieted revolutions moving through space and time. No map could chart the distance, no telescope defined a way. Our hearts kept turning on an unseen axis line. His celestial motion, we were more than dust and bone, turning in devotion through a universe unknown. Every rise and fall, like tides beneath the moon. In celestial motion, we were gravity in tune. Your voice was like a nebula unfolding in the night, coloring the emptiness with waves of borrowed light. We collided softly like asteroids in flight, breaking into fragments that still burn bright. Time bent around the moments when your shadow met with mine, as if the stars were listening between each silent light. The sky became a canvas where our restless pulses shone. A language made of stardust only we had known. We felt the pull of something older than the sun, quiet cosmic rhythm that bound us into one celestial motion. We circled without fear, suspended in the ocean of a sky that held us near. Every whispered promise echoed like a rune. Celestial motion, we were orbiting too soon. But even stars grow distant, never galaxies divide. What once was close as breathing can slowly shift its tide. Supernovas fade to embers, brilliance turns to glow. Not every cosmic story is meant to stay below. Still, I feel the current in the marrow of my chest, a faint but steady turning that never comes to rest. In celestial motion, though our paths have changed, there's still a quiet notion of how we once arranged two lights across the darkness, still humming out of tune. In celestial motion, beneath the same pale moon. And if the night grows heavier, I look up and I know, somewhere in the vast unknown, no ancient pulses glow. Not lost, just rearranged in patterns, steady motion, forever part of something vast. A silent, starry ocean. found each other in a season made of gold and borrowed time, where every glance felt accidental, every touch aligned, and we didn't chase forever. We were living day to day, building small eternities in our own imperfect way. Your laughter filled the quiet like a song I'd always known, and for a while the world outside felt smaller than our own. We didn't think about the future, didn't measure what could change. We were simply two hearts open, standing close within our reach. It was a sweet love that passed us by, soft as dusk across the sky, not loud enough to break in two, just tender enough to make us try. We held it gently, you and I, like something we knew wouldn't stay. A sweet love that passed us by, and that warmed us anyway. We traced our dreams on window glass that fogged beneath our breath, speaking of tomorrow like it wasn't something left. Every promise tasted new, untouched by doubt or fear. We thought the road would stretch ahead and keep us standing here, but time is quiet footsteps and it rarely makes a sound. And slowly we were walking on uncertain ground. There was no single mirror where everything went wrong, just subtle shifts in rhythm in the melody of our song. It was a sweet love that passed us by, like summer fading into fall, still beautiful in memory. And though it couldn't stay at all, no shattered hearts, no harsh goodbye, and just truth we couldn't deny. A sweet love that passed us by and taught us how to try. Maybe some loves are meant for always, maybe they arrive to show how deeply we are capable, not of letting our feelings grow. You were a mirror in my hands, reflecting who I'd be. And though we drifted in the distance, you still shaped a part of me. We were not a failure, we're simply passing through, two travelers sharing warmth before the journey grew. It was a sweet love that passed us by, still gentle when I recall, not written to permanence, and by meaningful through it all. We didn't lose what we once had, we let it live and fly. A sweet love that passed us by, beneath a changing sky. So here's to what we briefly were, into moments soft and shy. And some loves are meant to anchor, they're meant to pass us by. And even if it couldn't stay, and I'm grateful we could try. And for the sweetness we once held before it passed us by. Back when love was simple, we were leaning out of windows, passing streetlights, like they'd always lead us home. Every word was easy, every silence felt so gentle. We never feared the spaces, never felt alone. We wrote our names in notebooks, circled hearts in ink, believing every promise was stronger than we think. We didn't need a reason, didn't question why. We just held on to each other beneath an open sky. No heavy expectations, no shadows in disguise, just two unguarded spirits with hope behind our eyes. Back when love was simple and it fit inside our hands, and it didn't need forever and it didn't make demands. We loved without the armor, we trusted every sign. Back when love was simple and your heart was next to mine. We talk about the future like it couldn't disagree, drawing little maps of who we thought we'd be. And every dream felt reachable, every fear was small. We thought that if we stumbled, we would never fall. And the world was just a backdrop, blurred and far away. And all that really mattered was what we didn't have to say. Your laughter was my answer, my shelter from the rain. And back when love was simple, nothing felt in vain. No need for complicated, no need to overthink. We floated on the surface, too young to ever sink. Back when love was simple, we didn't count the cost and didn't weigh the distance or measure what we lost. We held on to the moment, let time just drift and spin. And back when love was simple, we didn't need to win. But seasons teach their lessons and innocence grows wise. And we learn that love can deepen and still change its disguise. Simple doesn't mean it's small, and growing doesn't mean goodbye. Sometimes it just gets heavier, and hearts can justify. I don't regret the softness nor how naive we seemed, and there was beauty in the way it believed in what we dreamed. Back when love was simple and shimmered like the sun, and untouched by doubt or history before the way to come. And maybe it hadn't changed, it's maybe that's just time. Back when love was simple, it felt like yours and mine, and it felt like yours and mine. And if I close my eyes tonight, you can still feel the pull. Not for love that asked for nothing, yet somehow felt so full. Back when love was simple, before we learned it all, we didn't know how fragile or how strong a heart could fall. Lunar light spills through the curtains of my room, and painting quiet promises in the hush of midnight's boom. The city falls to whispers, the restless settle down. Will I drift beyond the skyline of this sleeping town? Your memory rises slowly our secret that daylight buries deep. There's a rhythm in the stillness, and a pulse beneath the gray, and a quiet understanding, and never fades away. In this lunar reverie, and all that needs to mend, we are just two silhouettes, where earth and heaven blend. No sharp edges of goodbye, no need to disagree, only drift in memory and lunar reverie. Perhaps the moon remembers every vow we made below, and perhaps it keeps the fragments and a fall we couldn't show. Its phases mirror how we changed and waxing hope and waning flame. Yet even in its thinning light, it softly says your name. I don't chase the daylight, and I don't demand the dawn. And some feelings bloom at midnight, quietly live on. So in this lunar reverie, now let the silence be calm and silver sanctuary, where you still meet with me, not bound by past or future, not held by what should be, and just hearts that once aligned. The lunar reverie, and when the morning breaks at last, and shadows start to flee, now carry traces of the night. The lunar reverie, now tender fading afterglow, no sunrise can decree, forever softly orbiting the lunar reverie. young to understand that even golden moments can't forever hold our hands. Our youth, our love, our time, like sparks before the flame, brighter than we realized, too restless to be tamed. We held the world between our palms, like it was ours to climb, breathing fast, believing hard. Oh, you, our love, our time. 10 moved softer than we noticed, changing colors in the light. It taught my heart to recognize what makes our love ignite. Are you, our love, our time? And when I look back carefully through years that slip like ride, and I smile at who we used to be. And when I look back, bare time. And when I look back carefully, and when I look back carefully, and when I look back for time. A feeling that grew up, it started like a summer spark, careless in the sun. Two shadows stretching side by side, believing we were one. We laughed without a safety net, we loved without a plan, holding on to moments like they'd always understand. Every kiss felt weightless, every promise felt brand new. We thought that love was something time could never undo. We didn't see it changing, didn't feel it shift. We only knew the sweetness of a simple, perfect gift. That the feeling that grew up didn't stay the same. It traded fire for patience, traded sparks for steady flame. What once was wild and restless learned to stand its ground. The feeling that grew up was quieter, the sound into our questions, we grew into our fears. The innocence we carry and turn wiser through the years. And the feeling that grew up stopped asking to be saved. Did learn that love is stronger when it's honest and it's brave. It wasn't just a heartbeat or words we used to say. The feeling that grew up found deeper ways to stay. Not every spark can last forever. Not every flame survives. That some emotions evolve and settle, taking different shapes in our lives. What we had was never wasted, never when it had to change. And growing doesn't mean forgetting, it just rearranges the frame. I don't miss the recklessness or the way we fall apart. I honor how that younger love prepared a steadier heart. Because the feeling that grew up understood what it became. Less about the butterflies, more about the name. Less about the endless rush, more about the road. The feeling that grew up is who we are now. And if I look back carefully, I see the truth enough. Love was never meant to stay young. It was meant to grow up. Past still knows your name. I walk past the corner where we used to stand, where your fingers trace forever in the palm of my hand. The paint has faded off the walls we leaned against, but the air still carries words we never meant. There's a photograph inside my drawer, edges bent from being held before. I tell myself it's just a frame, but the past still knows your name. Every street light flickers like it did back then, like it's trying to remind me where we've been. I try to let the memory fade, but some echoes refuse to change. The past still knows your name. The past still knows your name. I found your sweater in a box last night, still holding on to your familiar light. It's strange how fabric can recall the way you'd catch me when I'd fall. I thought time would blur the lines, turn sharp edges into softer signs, but memory has a steady flame, and it burns when it hears our name. I don't dial the numbers, I don't retrace the steps, but my heart remembers what my mind forgets. The past still knows knows your name, says it like a sacred vow, not loud enough to pull me back, but loud enough somehow. It lingers in the midnight rain, in songs I can't explain. No matter how I rearrange, the past still knows your name. Maybe love leaves fingerprints on everything it's touched. Maybe once two souls connect, they never fully lose that clutch. It's not about returning, no rewriting what became. It's just a quiet truth that the past still knows your name. I've learned to live beside it, this ghost of who we were. Not every memory needs to hurt, not every scar to blur. The past still knows your name, but it doesn't own my heart. It's a chapter I have read, not the ending or the start. I carry it without the blame, without the burning shame, just a gentle distant flame. And if our paths should cross someday, no thunder, no acclaim, just two strangers smiling soft while the past recalls your name.